It's Christmas in August.
Look at that.
It's got a sweater on and everything. Yo, 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 YouTube. Welcome back to the live every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time with myself, Charlie, and a whole bunch of Stewarts. As many as we can, as many as we can stack on the shelves here. So we've got, normally we talk about a little bit about topics before the show starts. I thought this one was pretty obvious. It was going to be all about Car Dealer Pro, cross-posting, whatnot, the difference between the platforms, the things you need to do to, operate between all platforms at one time, and card selling and coming down off of other platforms. There's just a lot of stuff. We've been getting a lot of activity on the Discord, so we're going to really focus on that tonight.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So, but before we get started, I do have a special guest behind me here.
A shadowy figure.
So this is Decker. Hi, Decker.
Wow. Looky what we have here.
Decker's the new addition to the Peterson household. He has taken over.
Decker the Wrecker.
Decker the Wrecker. whether we like it or not, he's here. He's in full force, and he's definitely made himself at home.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So they just wanted to stop by, say hi, and introduce themselves. And Luna's right here. Say hi, Luna.
Hi.
Hi, Luna.
Brianna's here, of course. Say hi, Brianna.
Hi, Bri.
And since we have Brianna down here, we could start by talking a little bit about the GOAT show and get that out of the way.
We could. I've got a few emails to clear up this evening, but essentially we are 1 or 2 tables from sold out, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are interested in a table, please do email us at thegoatcardshow@gmail.com. We are starting a waiting list right now. Again, we may have 1 or 2 tables, but I am waiting on some final confirmations back from some of our vendors. We'd love to see an expanded area again this time. It's been very popular with our attendees when they come. Also want to highlight that we are very honored to be working with the Oneida Emergency Food Pantry. Oneida Nation does so much for their members in the area, and we are always honored to be able to pair with local community organizations and charities. So please do consider bringing a non-perishable food item out to the event. When you do, 1 non-perishable food item equals 1 ticket to be entered into our drawing to win. And this show's prize is a signed poster and a jersey from HaHa Clinton Dix. So if you're a Packer fan or a HaHa Clinton Dix fan, great item to have and add to your collection as well. Lots of fun things going on at the GOAT show. Again, we've got our Find a Goat game. There will be a golden goat hidden again. We do have some amazing live breaks that the guys are going to talk about a little bit later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, lots of great vendors. We love our vendors. They're like a wonderful group of family and friends that we're excited to see every time they come in. So we hope to see you there. September 28th. Historic Riverside Ballroom. Yes, we know there's a Packer game, but it's not at home, and it's not until in the afternoon. So I expect to see you all there.
What day of the week is that?
That's a Sunday.
That's right. Sunday. Got to get that in.
I do just want to clarify something. The HaHa Clinton Dix jersey is not autographed, just the framed picture. Yeah. So just so we have those expectations correct. Now, she did mention breaks will be happening. I had a chance to talk with Benji from BB Breaks, who, of course, does our breaking at the show. Just opened a brand new shop this week, and things are going really well. So I asked him for a little bit more details on one of the breaks he was going to feature at the show. And he's going to be doing a box of 2013 Select football. I plan to show the photo, but I still have the internet issues with my laptop, so I'm back on my phone. So I can't do that. But he's also offering a bounty if you buy into the break, and I think it's I'm assuming the break is going to be by pack. You'd have to buy the pack position in the box. And if your pack unveils a gold Prism Tom Brady card, he has $25,000 in cash he'll pay out in bounty at the show. So that's pretty spectacular. The card is really cool looking. 2013 Select, for those who maybe don't know, like, why would you break 2013? Well, 2013 Select was the very first year that Select returned. Panini started making. It used to be made by Score in the earlier years, and just very popular set. Select is still made today, so it's kind of that like first Prism, first Select, first Optic product. It was also the first time they had done a gold Prism parallel numbered to 10. So there's some significance in the set that way. It was also 2013, so there weren't that many printed, not like today. So a little bit more rare of a product in that sense. So that's it for the Goat Show details. We can get back to what we need to talk about here at the live. And that is all things Card Dealer Pro. I don't know if you want to start with that, or you want me to start with that, or the chat wants to start with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really know what I wanted to do for the outline. I just knew I wanted to talk about Card Dealer Pro. I knew we needed to talk about Card Dealer Pro more appropriately.
Yeah. So, as you alluded to earlier, we've had a lot of activity in the Discord, talking about how it's going with Card Dealer Pro and listing on collects and whatnot, and how that all works. Lots of technical questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? What happens if, things like that. So we've been answering those in our Discord, and like Adam said, we thought we would open it up to the chat tonight to kind of feature that more and try and get all those questions answered for people. I guess I would start with just an update on Card Dealer Pro. Adam, I don't know if you have that post that Card Dealer Pro had that we can put up on the screen.
I have it. Let me see if I can kind of log into get on StreamYard here in the background of my laptop. That might be the best.
Otherwise, I can probably get to it as well.
So basically, they made a. I mean, we can kind of talk about it anyway. They made a post that said that they were ending, right?
Yeah.
And is supposed to kind of catch you off guard, right? Like, oh, you're quitting. You're not going to be doing the software anymore. And that wasn't quite true. They were talking more about ending just being a listing software and helping us getting numbers of listings in. More so. Oops. Hold on.
Oh, where'd you go? It is a strong night of technical difficulties. And now we can't hear you, Adam. We lost your audio. You got to flip the switch, turn it back on. In the meanwhile, I was looking for the post here that we're talking about. Because it was something that was designed to, here we go, designed to catch us off guard and make you look twice. While Adam's working on that, let me throw it up here quick. There we go. So it says, we're saying goodbye. And caused a little bit of a panic for me for a moment, because even though I kind of suspected it was a little bit of, some kind of attention getter, I was like, whoa, I just invested all this time and effort in a Card Dealer Pro. So what's going on? But really, what it is they are distinguishing themselves by moving on from being just a card listing tool and just a card matching tool, and really they want to become known as an inventory management tool. So yes, can it load your images? Can it match your images to a database and help you expedite listing? Yes, it can still do that. But what it is doing now is it is storing your inventory for you. And many of you probably recall not too long ago, they made changes and had to be a unique SKU on everything. And it caused us a little bit of a ruffle to adjust some things for those of us that have been doing things the same way for a long time. But that's what this was all building to. It was building to this inventory management tool and setting that up to be able to cross list between 3 different platforms: Car Dealer Pro, Collects, and Whatnot. And the importance of that, we're still getting echo there, Adam. The importance of that is when you list something to all 3 and you sell that item on one, because of that unique SKU, they can connect them through the inventory tool to all 3 platforms, and pull them down when you sell them on one of them. So it's really become an exponential plus to this application, because you're not constrained to just eBay now. You can immediately list to all 3 as you're listing them, or you can go into the inventory that is stored in Car Dealer Pro and now go back and list past listings on eBay to those other platforms with a click of a button. And it's really smooth. It's slick. It is really easy to do. It is still in its early stages, so occasionally there's still some more maintenance that happens here and there, and you have to be a little patient. But overall, it's working really slick, and something that I've been using daily. I know, Adam, you have really expanded your listings now into Collects and Whatnot, and we've seen sales on all 3 platforms now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a click of a button to download all your eBay inventory. It just takes like 3 weeks to get there. So as Charlie said, there's still definitely things that are being worked out. But once your inventory is in there, it moves pretty quick. So I kind of do everything in batches of 50. It's it's a number I'm comfortable with. I like small batches. It's easy to review, send them on, and then move on to the next batch. But when I take 50 listings, because sometimes you have to edit them a little bit to be able to send them to Collects or to be able to send them to Whatnot if there's a field, required field listing from those platforms or something. So anyway, so once you have your 50 listings and they all qualify to go to Collects and Whatnot, you click the button to send it to those 2 other platforms, and it's pretty instant. I've even tested it where I've sent it to Collects and I have Collects open on my phone, and I'll just refresh it, and sure enough, those new 50 listings are there within 10 seconds. So once you get the inventory into Car Dealer Pro, it works really well from there. Now, any new batches you do, you just, like Charlie said, you simply do the process you've done before. However, you get your listings into Car Dealer Pro, whether you're using a scanner or taking pictures with your phone and uploading them, all those processes are still available. And now, instead of just simply hitting, send to eBay or CSV and uploading to eBay, now you can hit send to Collect, send to Whatnot, and it can go to all of those locations at once. The other thing I really like about it, and I kind of underestimated this till I've been doing more with it the past couple of days, uploading like my bulk, because I have like 56,000 listings are now downloaded. So I'm getting close to my full inventory amount to be able to send ahead. I really like the little triple icons that it has on the inventory page where it tells you if it's listed on eBay, if it's listed on Whatnot, if it's listed on Collects, because that helps me know, oh yeah, I have to send this over here yet. It's not listed there. So they'll kind of
Yeah,
be grayed out, and then once it's posted to that platform, then it will be a color logo of that platform.
yeah. Here's what Adam's talking about with some of my inventory here. So you can see this first card here, this Topps American Heritage Sam Adams. It is a bright icon for collects. You see the collects logo there? That means it's listed there. It's a bright one for eBay in full color. That means it's listed there. When you get to the whatnot, it's not full color. It's not popping out. You don't see the yellow. That means it's not listed there. If I wanted to list that from this previous card, which I didn't list it because normally my cutoff's like $3, but I'll throw this out there. All I do is click on this and say new listing. Within about a minute and a half or so, you see the little progress thing here. That'll be on my whatnot inventory. And once this refreshes, if we look down at this third card here, it's another Samuel Colt card, ironically. This one is popping with the whatnot logo. So you can see that one was listed already.
And you can also do more than one card at a time because you don't necessarily want to go down every card and click
Right.
list each one individually, sort of defeats the purpose. But you can click, the like check all box on the left there. Like, let's say this entire,
Yeah.
batch of cards you wanted to send to whatnot. You can click that and then simply go up to the list now tool or whatever the heck that's called in the top right. I can't remember what it's called. There it
Uh,
is.
yeah.
So
So it says list
one
500 products to channels.
there you go. So once you click the, click check all box, that will highlight blue. And then you can
Mm-hmm.
click on that and it'll tell you what platform those
Yep.
listings are eligible for. So if it says it's ineligible to go to whatnot, for example, that means that something in those 500 listings, at least one listing in there, is missing something or has something incorrect. I
Yeah.
find it quite often with non-sport. So almost
Right.
all the non-sport cards I have non-sport, but they don't have the category of non-sport. So you simply have to open that listing, click the little non-sport drop down, and boom, it's ready to go. So
So now
I've
I
spent
just
a
selected 6 cards, and you can see it's not telling me there's any problems. I can just hit the button and list to any of them.
yep, yep. So yeah, it works great. Shows up right away. I've been getting a ton of activity, especially on whatnot. I've been getting followers, left and right. Um, Kind of a cool thing that happened today, and I shared it on Discord as well. But I actually had a sale in all 4 of my stores, all within the same minute. So I had a sale on
Nice.
whatnot, a sale on collects, a sale on my eBay sports store, and a sale on my eBay non-sports store,
Nice.
all at the same time. So that's not something you're going to see being on just one platform and only have one piece of exposure. So
Right.
it's it works really well, and it also, the other big part of this is, well, what if I sell it on whatnot? Then what do I do with eBay and collects? It pulls it off of those sites.
Right.
Now, I was curious if that would work when you were simply downloading the inventory or you were using the CSV uploads, and it still does. So the
Hmm.
whatnot sales and the collect sales I had the last few days have canceled all those listings in eBay for me as well.
Yeah.
So now here's the quirks. Each platform has its own quirks. Most of you know eBay's quirks, so I'm not going to go into those too far. Collects. Collects does not like to put your SKU in, which makes no sense since it's their own software. But it doesn't put the SKU in. You have to go in and like assign it a number after it's uploaded, which I really don't want to do, especially not for each one of them. So I simply use eBay as my sort of SKU source for those sales. So, for example, actually, I packed it up already. I shouldn't have done that. But I sold a card I sold on collects today. Went into eBay. I went into my ended listings, which had all my whatnot and my collects listings that I sold today. It had that card in there as as a canceled item out of eBay. I simply looked at that listing on there, and it gave me the SKU, and that's how I found the card.
Hmm.
Um, Now, Whatnot does a good job giving you the SKU. But one of the things I found out is once the card sells, you can't see the SKU then. So you can see the SKU and whatnot when it's for sale, but once it sells, like I had a 5 or 6 card order today. When I go to click on those items, it does not show me the SKU. Unless I'm missing something, but I checked all over. Maybe it does on the, now I think about it, maybe it does in the browser. I was doing it in the app, but I couldn't quickly find the SKU and whatnot. So basically, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my collects, my whatnot sales, going to go into my ended listings in eBay and get the SKU numbers that way, pull those cards just like I do my eBay orders and ship them out and be ready to go.
So
Now,
this is that card that we triggered earlier, and you can see the whatnot is lit up
Yep.
now. And if we flip over to my whatnot inventory, there it is. So it was done quite a while ago. I was letting Adam finish his thought there. So it is on an ideal situation. It's really quick. Every once in a while,
like
I'll get some delay with collects or something, but most often things are really quick.
Yeah, like I said, I'm doing them in batches of 50, and a lot of times my batches are real clean and they can just go right away. I don't have to adjust anything. So I can click on my 50, hit send to collects, send to whatnot. And like Charlie said, that little processing mark comes up in the corner so you know that it's going.
Yep.
I can go to the next batch, click on that. They're clean and ready to go. Send, and boom, they're all right there. So you can get through. I mean, if you have an inventory of like 10,000 cards that you're downloading from eBay to move to these other 2 platforms, it's only going to take you a couple of hours to get everything moved. From download all the way to, well, assuming the download is, at a decent speed these days. Wasn't when we started this, but I'm at like 17,500 listings or so that I've moved to the other 2 platforms, and I have a lot of non-sport stuff, so that's what's slowing me down because you have to go in and adjust each one of those. But if I didn't, I mean, I'd probably be at like 25 or 30,000 already moved over to those other 2 platforms.
Yeah.
And it will really start things for you there. You'll start getting a lot more attention. You'll get more bulk orders. So we talked about quirks. Another quirk thing is shipping. So collects, you can ship eBay standard envelope. They charge you a little more. What do they charge you? $1 or something like that for it?
It's, I don't recall. It's not that much more though.
Or maybe I was thinking the postage fee plus the 30 cents for the
That could be, yeah.
transaction fee.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's fine. They've got ESE. You just ship it like eBay, put it in an envelope, and you're done. Well, on Whatnot, you can't ship standard envelope unless you're selling in a live show, which makes 0 sense to me. But if you ship a fixed priced item, it has to go ground advantage. Right now, anyway. So you have to, but here's the thing. You can keep that ground advantage price and allow a bundle, which means you can allow up to a certain number of cards to go into that package for that same price. So I was doing like buy 5 cards for the same shipping amount. I actually changed that to 15 cards today because I can ship 15 cards for under 4 ounces, which is what they're going to be charged. Minimum charge is going to be on a ground advantage package. And that at least gives my whatnot buyers a chance to get up to 15 cards for that shipping price as opposed to paying all the shipping for just a couple of cards.
Yeah.
Which in turn should help me get more sales too. More quirks in case you didn't. I hope you guys are taking notes because there's a lot going on here. Listing prices. So collects will take the price that you had on eBay and they'll put it right on collects at that price. When you upload it to Whatnot, Whatnot rounds down to the nearest dollar. They don't like change. They go with dollars. So if you're like me and you price cards at $1.99, when it gets to Whatnot, it's going to list at $1.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, because I don't want to go back in and change all of those. So what I did was I just let it list at that because I'm charging shipping on Whatnot to the buyer. I'm not paying for it. So I feel like that's basically the equal price it would be to selling it on eBay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let it go at that. So if I listed something at $2.99, it sells at $2. That's fine. Many times on eBay, I'm taking orders, for under my asking price anyway. And starting out, it's a good policy to keep your prices a little bit lower when you're trying to make a mark in a new platform. When you build yourself up from Skechers to Nike on that platform, then you can start looking at raising some more prices and maximizing your profits. But right now, I'm just trying to get a place and whatnot. I love it there. My opinion on them has changed drastically, just as I've gotten more sales and I'm more familiar with the platform. Start scheduling some more live shows, things like that. I'm going to be jumping more in on it over there. But I've made some nice sales there, like some bigger groups of card sales, and so there are fixed price buyers on Whatnot, contrary to what kind of everyone believes. And I told Charlie, and ironically enough, right before I got on the show tonight, I saw an ad. It's a Whatnot sponsored ad that was playing when I was watching a YouTube video for Whatnot. And it's this comic book collector, right? And he's like, "Oh, I got all these key books at really good prices. See, look, I got Batman number 16. It was exclusive to San Diego Comic Con. And I got this for $13. And where did I buy it? I bought it on Whatnot." So he's talking about, you can find anything being sold live at any time and make your bids and do your buys. But the way they finish all those ads now is, you know, you can buy on live and you can also buy in the marketplace. You can find any item at a fixed price amount and you can buy it directly from the seller that way, and it doesn't have to be in a live auction. So they're really stressing that there is this option as well to shop. It doesn't have to be a backyard breaks featured live presentation in order for you to participate on Whatnot. You can just simply go and buy stuff, which is
Yeah.
what we want. That's what we need, right? So, speaking to our sellers and what our activities are, that's what we want to see.
Yeah. So I have some answers for you on the collects shipping scenario. So here's an order that I recently fulfilled on there. William the Refrigerator Perry there. Nice classic card there. That particular order was a single order, and it is 80 cents to ship it. And then there's a collects fee of 12 cents.
Yep.
So I sold that for $1.99. I had 92 cents in fees, and my proceeds were $1.07 into my collects account.
It is more than eBay for the postage, because the postage is 74 cents there. So
Yep.
I remembered it was more, but yeah.
But it is less for the fees.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the buyer pays the shipping.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You don't pay the shipping. So I don't think any of the platforms are perfect. None of them can really get exactly what we're looking to get, but they're not just trying to appeal to low-end card sellers. There's lots of different sellers, Whatnot especially. I mean, you can sell anything on there.
Yeah.
Well, and eBay for that matter. Collects is just cards, so their platform is pretty direct to card selling. But yeah, so I think I think all three platforms are working pretty well. I feel like I've been getting hit up on Whatnot and Collects for that matter, by people selling cards. Have you gotten that
Yeah.
at all?
I've gotten that on collects for sure.
Yeah, so that I found that interesting. I'm like, really? Because on eBay they wouldn't let you do that. They would block those messages. So I don't know if that's something they're going to look into. But yeah, I was getting messaged on Collects like, "Hey, I sell a bunch of cards. You can visit me here," or "Hey, I noticed you sell singles. Do you want bulk?" Blah blah blah. So, and I don't necessarily want that to go away. Like, I'll always look at an opportunity. If the right one presents itself, I'll do it. But I was just kind of surprised by that. I'm like, really? You can come at the seller right away? But it's a free market world these days. You can get a hold of anybody at any time and buy anything. So that is what this is all about. It's not about just being on the one platform, being accessible to one type of buyer. You have to put yourself into the different worlds.
Right.
And I think most of us wanted to do that. It just seems so cumbersome to like, okay, now I got to list all my stuff on whatnot. Now I got to list all my stuff on eBay. I mean, it takes you like 5 years to build a really good, solid 60,000 listing eBay store, for most people. And it's like, well, I got to take another 5 years and try to get all this stuff over somewhere else. And then keeping track of the different platforms. And, it just seems like, okay, this is not something that's really gonna work. But this program makes it so easy to be able to do that. Now, we're not here to just shill Car Dealer Pro. I mean, they're not sponsoring this. We don't get a kickback, nothing like that. But we both use it. We both have a good amount of experience in this new beta, and the activity on the Discord was just so immense. A lot of times we're getting the same questions over and over again. We really thought that this was the right time to get that out there and let you guys participate in the chat and ask some questions, and we try to do our best to help you out with it. So with that, I think we should probably get started on the questions right away. I'm just going to go turn off this really annoying light next to me. So Charlie, if you want to get started with the chat.
Yeah, so we'll jump into the chat. I know we got a couple things that opened up that are not about CDP. Sports Section Plus is here. Hey, I'm back.
Much better.
First, nonetheless, tonight. First one in. Been busy the past few weeks crawling around insulation, replacing, rewiring, doing freezer. Got some pickups on Sunday.
Nice.
Sounds like you've been busy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking a break or, following some other priorities in life. Your cards will always be there. So good on you. I mean, you're doing what you got to do. That's what matters.
He says he's closing up both stores and just going to do one. Vegas next week for the wife's birthday. I'm going to try and hit up Vegas shops. I actually bought some cards from 702 the other day.
Oh, yeah? Like online?
Yeah. I don't remember if I bought them on eBay or Collects. I think those ones were on eBay, but I was helping my brother source some cards that I didn't have, and I didn't seek out 702. It just popped up, and at least I was like, so this is a great example of what you say all the time about our banners. The results came up when I searched for a card, and I said, oh, 702. I know them. I'm going to buy from them. So
that matters. If you build your brand correctly, branding definitely matters.
Yeah.
So, kind of just to jump into it, because this came into my head, another quirk. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Twerk.
Totally
not twerk. Quirk.
Not twerk. Yeah, there's no twerking here. You don't want to see that. And now I forgot what I was going to say. I had another quirk in my head, but I got
now you're thinking about twerking.
Right, pretty much. Yeah, anyway, there's just little quirks between all the platforms. So my best suggestion to you is to just kind of get on there and start throwing some out and see how it goes. And I know what I was gonna say. It was about the expense, right? The cost to list on these platforms, because that matters. Whatnot is awesome. It costs you absolutely zero to do anything on their platform. When you sell something, they get a piece. Done. That's it. Unlimited listings, which eBay, I hope you're taking notes, because I've been telling you to do this for like 20 years now. But you can keep going. So you can download your eBay inventory. Well, I'm at my limit on my store here. I keep listing it on Whatnot. You'll start building your buyer space there. Now, Collects charges $10 a month for the Pro, which is you basically need. Otherwise, you only get 500 listings. It's pretty useless as a free software or a free platform. But you pay the $10 a month, and actually, if you buy a year up front, you get 2 months free. Because it's $100 if you do a whole year at a time, which I did. I think you did that too, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes sense. It wants to pay the $10 a month. But anyway, you also get a $10 credit every month to buy on Collects. You essentially get it for free. I had a couple of different credits. I had a credit for my first scan. I had a credit for, I don't remember what it was, my first sale maybe. I don't remember. I got a $10 credit for something else. And so I did what Charlie did. I looked up some cards that I wanted to get, a couple cards that I knew I could flip, a couple cards for my PC. and it was real easy. I was able to find one seller that I could get stuff from because again, you're paying the shipping, so I wanted to try to buy them all from one seller. She had some stuff that I was looking, enough pieces that I was looking for that I could pick up. Bought them. Immediately got a follow from the seller. I followed that seller. Instantly got a shipping notification, that this thing was on its way. Package came, cards were in great order, said thank you, and first purchase complete, and it went without a hitch. So, that's the difference in the expenses. So Collects is going to cost you $100 for the year, but then you get $10 a month to spend. And if you do that for all 12 months, you actually end up with $120 to spend for your $100 you spent for the year's worth of Pro Access. If that
I was
makes
trying
sense.
to see what that tiered program was for the credits, because it's your typical beginner platform user type. Do this and you'll get
Yeah.
this. Then try this feature and you'll get this. I do want to call out one other thing about Collects, one of those little nuances, right? So you don't have access to your funds until the card is reported delivered.
Same with Whatnot.
You cannot withdraw less than $10, and it's a $2 fee every time you make a withdrawal.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right there. I actually don't even have my payout option set up in Collects yet, because I don't think I'll be taking out a payout for a bit. I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting more sales than I thought I would right off the bat. But yes, there is some expense when you go to draw your funds. You can simply take the money and buy other cards on Collects. Of course,
You can do
doesn't
that right
cost you
away.
anything.
Yeah.
So you can do that too right away. Whatnot does the same thing. They won't pay you until it's proven delivered. And then the buyer either has a chance to say, yep, I got it, or there's a certain time that expires and they just pay you out. But once you hit 1,000 sales, I believe, or I shouldn't say sales, because that would imply individual cards. Once you have 1,000 orders completed on Whatnot, then they don't hold your funds anyway, and they'll pay you right away.
Oh, okay.
So there's a way to get out. Well, at least that's how it works if you sell in a live show. Who knows? I didn't know they'd have special rules, separate rules for fixed sales, but they certainly do for shipping. So I don't know. I guess I'll find out. I'm a little ways away from 1,000 sales, so I haven't worried about it yet.
Another thing I just thought of, and I should have hesitated. I was a mad clicker on my phone, but I wanted to recap that Collects is a little unique in that when you sell a card, you have to remove it from your collection. So I just had an order delivered yesterday and I didn't do that yet. So I was going to show you, but without even thinking about it, I just hit the hyperlink to say removed from my collection, and all 20 cards were removed from it.
Charlie's right. If you go into your sales tab in your seller hub, it'll show you which car, where your orders are at, right? So one will say transit, one will say waiting to send, or like waiting to print labels, something to that effect if you haven't gotten that far yet. And then other ones will say delivered. And once it shows delivered and your money is credited to your account, then there will be a link under that order that says remove these from Collects. No, I hate that. That's another quirky thing for Collects, and I hate that because I don't want the card to sell again. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
If I sold it and I shipped it, take the damn thing out of inventory.
It does show 0 available though. I think it's
Don't
kind of
care.
like eBay's, where you can keep showing listings at 0 inventory. And we have that discussion too. Like, people are always like, how do I make that go away?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. I would rather it just come out. If I want to list another one, I'll list another one.
I agree.
It's a card selling platform only. There's no reason that it should have to stay
They
open,
do make it pretty easy though. Like you said,
do.
if you go to your sales, they'll give you a link right there to say, do you want to remove this from your collection? You don't have to go find the card. You don't have to click
That's
5
correct.
buttons. Just
Yep.
go to your sales and say remove it. So
Yep. So there's a seller hub section is it collection? Is it under collection?
well, the sales is a separate thing.
Yep.
The collection is where all your listings are.
Yep. Yep.
The sales are under your user
Your profile.
Yeah,
your profile. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Profile, and then you go, is it orders or sales or something like that?
My sales.
My sales. Go under my sales. It'll show all your recent sales, the status of them. Once it shows delivered and paid out, there'll be a link there that says remove these from my collects inventory.
Yep.
So it's not difficult, but again, it's like, well, that platform does that. Well, this one doesn't, and this
kind
one
of
doesn't.
annoying.
Well, this platform does this, and this one doesn't, and this one doesn't. I if I was smart and I had taken the time today, I would have made a chart of like, this is what it costs. This is what you have to do with your inventory. This is none of the other two platforms won't list your quantity. If you are downloading your inventory from eBay and you have quantity in a listing, it will put quantity on those other two platforms.
Okay.
So, because I've seen it in collects of like, well, I guess trying to think, did I see that in collects or whatnot? I'm not sure now if I saw that in both places. I definitely saw it in one. I'm thinking it's whatnot actually. But you can go on there and,
because I don't think there's even a field for that on collects.
Yeah, I believe it's on whatnot. You can see quantity. But
Yeah,
of course,
right.
when you're scanning on Car Dealer Pro and you're uploading, you can't change the quantity
right
on whatnot. So there's a lot of little kind of ropes, put around you that you got to wiggle your way through as you're sort of doing this. But it's like anything new, you get used to, I can't do that on whatnot, but I can do this on collects. And you just kind of have to figure your way through it. And to me, the most important thing is, even if you have some listings that can't get cross-posted for whatever reason, that's not the end of the world. The biggest thing is when you get a sale, can you find the card? Do you know where it is in your inventory? Is there a way for you to pull that information up? And can you get it out of the other platform so you don't get double sales?
Yeah.
As long as you have a process that can manage those two things, the rest of it you can figure out over time.
Yeah, and I wanted to come back to that because you were talking about earlier how you find your SKU because once you sold it and whatnot, it wasn't there. You go to eBay to get it. What I often do is I go back to my inventory and my listings and click on the batch ID because Car Dealer Pro assigns a batch ID to every batch you upload. And when I do that, I can see all the cards that were in that batch. Well, what did I get here? There it is, the batch ID. That was just the one. But now I get all the cards that were in that batch. And I can see, if I can scroll over, I think I'm having an issue because I'm sharing my screen. But when you scroll over, there's no scroll bar down here. What's going on there? You can see the SKU you assigned to everything in that batch. There we go. There we go. Man, look at that. It just keeps disappearing here on me.
Good example, Charlie. Good example.
Yeah. Now I'm the one having the technical difficulties. But if I could slide over. Oh, there it is. There it is. Now I can see my SKU over here. You can see everything I did that day. I did 8/20/25. So now I know where to find that card.
Yeah, and the way I usually find it in eBay is I just go to my listings. I go Tom Brady card 185 or whatever is the key information to make that search simple. Card pops up. I go, yep, that's the SKU. I go pull it out of the drawer and then I delete the item out of eBay.
Okay.
And I kind of like the double check. I like to make sure it was removed out of eBay because that's the most likely place I'm going to sell any card is in eBay.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to make sure that it's removed from there. And I've been pretty pleasantly happy with the job that the software is doing removing the listings. But I've had a couple too where it hasn't. and I have
Oh,
had to
really?
go in. I had one where I had a quantity listing in eBay and it's sold in collects.
Okay.
So it didn't do anything to my eBay listing. It didn't reduce it by one.
Really?
Yep. So I don't know if that's like something they just haven't like worked on yet, and that's coming. I don't know, but the only way you're going to get a quantity listing is if you download it from eBay anyway.
Yeah.
So just a few things to watch for. I guess I look at it this way. I don't have that many sales on collects and that many sales on whatnot. I can go look up the SKU. It's not that big a deal. In the long run, they need to fix that. Collects needs
Yeah.
to have that darn SKU number in there. It doesn't make sense. Just to have you add in like a key number doesn't make sense. No one's going to do that per listing. So that's, to me, that's probably the biggest issue on the collect side. Everything else works pretty well. Things get removed. That and remove the items later, I don't get that at all either. So those two things, to me, those are the real cons. Whatnot, the real con is you can find the SKU in your listing, but you can't find the SKU once the item sells, which makes no sense. So that's something that I'm hoping that they can correct. No, to be fair, again, I didn't look at it in the browser. So maybe if I look at it in the full version, I can see the SKU on those sales, but for right now, I can't. I have to go to eBay to get the SKUs for those sales as well. And
Yeah.
the other big downside to Whatnot is no ESC shipping on a fixed sale.
I do see the like you said, I do see the SKU in Whatnot on my listings. I haven't really looked for it. I have not made a buy it now sale in Whatnot yet, so full disclosure on that. But I have not had to look for it. But I'm looking at a listing right now. I'll throw it up there, and the SKU is down here in the bottom right of my listing details in the optional fields.
Yeah,
So
and
there again is
I haven't had a problem finding the SKU in the listings. Those have all been correct.
yeah.
It's once I get a sale and I go into the sale items, the SKU isn't there. It gives you just like a small version of the information of that card. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
like the sale number, the item number, like the year, the set. It's like very, very minimal little piece of information versus all that stuff you had just shown.
Okay.
Um, and a picture of the card. That's it. That's all you get. Well, and the title, of course, the title of the item. That's all you get. So
Okay.
you still have to go find it somewhere. I still believe eBay is the best place to look for that, because if you go into your ended listings, they're all right there. You don't even have to search, because anything you sold is going to be immediately in your ended listing. You know what I'm saying? Versus trying to find
Yeah.
your batch and like all that stuff. So I go eBay, ended listings, and boom, there's the 5 Tom Brady cards that I just sold on Whatnot. Boom, there's the Jim Kelly Fanimation card I just sold on Collects. It's all right there. And then once I pull those cards, I fill those orders, then on eBay, I go in and delete those listings, because you kind of have to do it like Collects in that sense to get those items completely removed from your eBay ended listings. So if I do that every time, then the next day when I get more collect sales and I get more Whatnot sales, I go to my ended listings. It's literally just the cards that sold that day that I need to fill orders for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a very easy reference between any of those platforms to go and see, what do I have to pull to fill these orders? And then again, boom, check the boxes for those cards once they're filled, permanently delete, and boom, they're gone. They're out of your eBay store. You know that they've been pulled from there. You've got the physical cards ready to go. You got your label from Collects. You got your label from Whatnot. That's the other thing I didn't mention. When you make a sale on Whatnot and you make a sale on Collect, they automatically generate a shipping label for you. You don't have to do
Yes.
anything. You simply have to print it. So you either have to download it and print it, or however you do your label. I'm guessing most of you are thermal labelers, so I just simply download the label, hit print, comes right on my thermal label printer, slap it on the envelope, and I'm done. Now, on Whatnot, as far as shipping goes, obviously on Collects, I'm just using a number 10 envelope. On Whatnot, I'm using my free padded mailers from eBay because they're charging the buyers so much for that shipping. And I'm new there. I want them to get some value at least out of that package shipping and get it sent in an actual package and not an envelope that has a $4 mailing stamp on it. So I'm using the if it's one card, I'm using my I have two different size padded envelopes that I get from eBay. I use the real small one, put the card in a top load. I don't even bother with card savers on Whatnot sales right now. I'm gonna upgrade my presentation in Whatnot sales right now just to continue to build a positive reputation there. And I'll keep doing that for as long as they make us do ground advantage shipping. I would assume at some point we'll get ESE. When the switches to ESE, then you go back to the normal card saver number 10 envelope, that whole ball of wax.
It's interesting that they have ESE for live card sales, but not buy it now.
I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. You should be able to take your shipping profile, which was designed at 1 ounce. What is it called? It's not priority mail. It's first class mail.
First class, yeah.
First class mail. So I have it set at 1 ounce, first class mail. That's literally just a stamp or an ESE, it's a trackable stamp. I mean, we call it ESE, but that means eBay standard envelope. But you guys get the picture. So I don't get it. I kind of reached out to Whatnot about it, and they're, oh yeah, that's something where I posted that in the Discord too. Like the response I got was, oh yeah, it's something that we're trying to work on. I'm like, just turn it on. Like, dude,
What's
we
to
already have
work
this
on,
for. Yeah, I don't get it. It's a really weird one to me. And maybe it's because they auto generate the label. They have some issue where it can't auto generate a stamp envelope label, but Collects does it. Collects auto generates a label. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think Whatnot's so big and there's so many sellers on there now. I think they put so much resources into the live selling, which clearly was a great move on their part. I think the other stuff is just kind of left on the curb, and they'll get to it when they get to it. But the ads are encouraging to me because the ads literally say, "Did you know there's a marketplace there, and you can just go buy an item at a fixed price and find it from the seller, and they'll ship it right away." To me, that's a really big positive. You wouldn't pay to put it in an ad if it wasn't something you were going to try to support.
Right. They may not be releasing that PWE program yet, just because they could currently be in negotiations with USPS or something on a
for like pricing
metered
or something.
rate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They also weren't something I found out on the side from somebody else. They weren't sharing their platform to be able to list to them from other programs until very recently, which is why Card Dealer Pro, as soon as they could get in, they're like, yeah, let's do it so we can link to Whatnot. But they had that turned off. Like that access was shut down forever. So to me, that's also a move of them saying, yeah, get your crap on Whatnot and get it sold. Here, we're going to give you some easy ways to take inventory you have somewhere and move it here without duplicating that work. And that's something that's very necessary when you're trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, more to come on that side, I believe.
We got a chat here that I think is just for you.
Yeah, you guys never fail to impress. First, okay, there's a lot to unpack here. Okay.
Oh boy.
First, he says yo yo yo. That is banned in this chat. I get yo yo yo. You can have a yo, which is like a generic greeting. You can have a yo yo, which is basically a ball on a string, but I get the yo yo yo. Okay. Second of all, sick is not spelled S-I-C-K, it's S-I-C, okay? It's urban. It's urban language. It's sick, as in fat or that's bad, dude. You know, right? It's the
You're really
opposite
showing
of
off your
what it
street
is.
cred tonight.
Well, I have to help these people out, okay? So sick is not like an ill card, or well, although ill is technically an urban word for something being cool too. That was Beastie Boys that made that famous, but um anyway, I digress. So it's sick, not as in the card is not feeling well. It's sick as in sick is normally a bad thing. So of course in urban it's used in urban words or vocabulary, it means something good. So kind of like calling a really big guy tiny, you know, that sort of effect. You did spell bro correctly.
Points
But
for that.
what?
Points for that.
But the real issue here is the fact that you said any of this at all, and that's just where we have to leave that. But anyway, thanks for jumping in. I love it. You get when I just so you guys know, just to lay this down, I'm joking. Like I love this stuff. I like it when you come in and you call us gentlemen, and then I can scold you for saying gentlemen, and Charlie loves that too. We love this stuff. It's all for fun. It's a little bit of banter and yo, sick card, bro. Awesome. Keep bringing that stuff. I love it. It's good times. All right, move on.
Loki Joe's here. He says maybe Vegas for him too soon.
Well, what the hell? Now I feel left out. Who's taking us
Now
to
it's a
Vegas?
party.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, somebody's got puppy fever now.
Yeah, it's been quite a game changer here. We haven't had a puppy in a really long time, so all those puppy things you forget, they still exist.
Does he
Some
come
chewing,
downstairs with you at 3 a.m. when you get up?
he doesn't come. He's not allowed in the basement yet. He's a little
Ah.
too curious. A little bit of he gets into things. He eats stuff off the floor. That kind of thing. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to one day. I would love to have him come down to work with me. My boxer back in the day always got up early with me in the morning, would come down and hang out, and I love that. So if it happens, great. But yeah, right now, no, he's not allowed in anywhere unless there's a person there watching him because he's 3 months old. So
Yeah. Dan's here, and he says, "What up? 2013 Select design is still my favorite to this day."
yeah, it's a really good classic design. I believe there was better quality control in the product then. I see some of the Select. I mean, Select isn't terrible for quality, but I see some of the designs now, and I'm like, man, they just didn't execute the chrome etching look and that kind of stuff nearly as well as they did in. I like 2013 and 2014. So when Panini first started making, because 2012 was the first Prism year, right? One of the things I like about those first years of those products was they really brought the player to the front of the card. So when you had a Tom Brady card, you got a really nice big close picture of Tom Brady. Now there's more like action shot style, shot from a little bit further distance, that kind of thing. But I love the very early years of Prism, probably like 2012 through 2014. And then the first couple of years of Select, 13 and 14 Select. I'm referring to football, of course. So yeah, I think they did a much better job then, and then they just kind of got see all like the player is just kind of more prevalent on the card, more forward, versus a lot of the designs now the player seems more in the background.
Right.
That's the gold. So this is it right here. This is the card. When you're at the
That's
goat
the
show,
bounty.
Yep. When you're at the goat show, you buy into the 2013 Select break, and you pull this card, you get $25,000 cash, no questions asked. You do have to turn the card over though.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, quite a bounty. There are a few out there that haven't been accounted for, so it is certainly possible to pull them out of packs. Although of course rare. It's a very rare card, obviously. But there weren't that many boxes printed either. So I think when you're looking for a true grail, and I'm sorry, these $200 cards, those aren't grails. A $25,000 instant cash card, that's a true grail chase type of a card. I honestly think the opportunity for a card like this is probably better than a lot of other $25,000 chase product out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know
fair
what
to
it's
say.
going to cost to get into the break. We'll get some more details as time goes on. Actually, this is a good time to mention this. Benji will be our guest next week on the show. He'll
He
be
will
back.
be.
So we're gonna have him talk a little bit about his new shop. I'm gonna head down there for the grand opening. I think that's next weekend. I hope I have that right. I'll have to check my calendar.
I thought it was the first week of September. I could be wrong.
I thought it was the first week of September. Oh, so it's 2 weeks. It's in 2 weeks then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because because today's the 20th. Anyway, I'll be heading there for the grand opening day. I'm hoping he'll let me do some video and stuff. And he's always done a great job promoting our show. We love to promote his shop, and now we have this great collaboration on breaks, and I'm really looking forward to continuing that and expanding that and doing some more things. Said he has some other things he wants to do too at the show. It's just, again, obviously he's very preoccupied with a brand new store that opened 2 days ago. It's been very busy there. It's much bigger than his other store, so congratulations to Benji on that one. And watch the show next week live Wednesday 8 Central Standard Time on this YouTube channel. And Benji will be here. You can ask him questions. You can ask him about this break. What does it cost? How do I get in? Do I have to be present? I don't want to answer those questions. That's not my job. That's Benji's job. So Benji will be here next week to do that. So I want to ask all of you for something though, okay? And I don't know if Benji's watching this or he's going to watch this, but so it might blow my cover. But when you're on here next week and he comes on this show and we're talking about this select box and the Brady Bounty, I want all of you at the same time to post in the chat, dude, that's a sick card, bro.
Bruh.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it. We gotta throw it out there for the Benji. He'll love it. Let's get him next week. But yes, he'll be on here. We've had him on the show before. He did a great job. He's an excellent guest, very comfortable on camera, great at addressing questions, and it's a good opportunity. I really like having guests on here that are not us, like not what we do, because I mean we talk about this stuff every week. It's good to have somebody on here who does breaking, somebody who owns a shop, somebody who does, and Benji does all those things. So he has nothing to do with low end cards. He's a high end card and a breaker and all that kind of stuff, rip wax, that kind of thing. So he'll be back by popular demand as well. I got really good feedback from that show, so we look forward to having him here with us again next week.
Absolutely. Let's see, where were we here? Oh yeah. Dan says that is a yikes of a story headline talking about the CDP story. I would have been, well, that's the end of that. Yeah, it makes you dig into it a little more, right?
Which part of the story?
That CDP was ending.
Oh, right.
Their title.
Wow, that was a long time ago in this conversation.
It was. We've had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it was when I first saw it. I'm like, well, they're not ending it. Like we would have, I would have been aware of that right away. But yeah, I saw it. I sent it to you, Charlie, and you're like, yeah, I saw that, and it freaked me out a little bit. And I was like, hey, it worked. That's some good marketing. No, I believe our paths are almost the same as Car Dealer Pro's paths, right? I feel like we're in the same spot in our business. Maybe I'm a little further down the road than you and Car Dealer Pro are, but I feel like you and Car Dealer Pro are really like neck and neck trying to get to the same finish line, and like, okay, I need this platform now so I can build out this part of my business. Hey, guess what? We're going to add this platform,
Right.
It feels like we're all growing together, and there's pains with that. We get frustrated with them. They get frustrated with us. And, sometimes the scan stuff doesn't work. Sometimes, pictures don't load. Sometimes, but we all got to stay the course. I think if we all try to support each other, we can all, we all have the same goals, right? We all want to try to find more places to sell our cards, get more customers, sell more cards, and make the process as easy as possible and keep improving on that. We're all trying to do the same thing. So let's keep working together. And if you have problems with Car Dealer Pro, absolutely reach out to them and say, hey, this thing never works. Fix it. Hey, this thing doesn't, I had issues with my account that nobody else had. And I spent quite a bit of time at the National, more than I wanted to, at the National, at their booth, talking to the tech
Yeah.
guys and saying, "Hey, how do we fix this thing? Like, come on." Part of it was user error, part of it was things that the scanner was doing, part of it was updates that weren't downloaded, part of it was bad feedback from Car Dealer Pro because they told me that it was a totally different issue than what it actually was. Uh, but all of us, stayed diligent to try to fix it. I went up to the booth. Well, did you try this? Did you try that? Did you try this? We talked to Charlie for a little bit and said, hey, if you're poking around on it, look at this. Charlie ended up correcting a part of it. I corrected a part of it the following day. And I'm good to go again. So we really have to try to work together and make sure we get there. By the way, if you don't have Car Dealer Pro and you want to get it, you can get 500 free scans and try it out if you use my code $box. So when you sign up for Car Dealer Pro, there is a like a coupon code or a promo code box when you enter your card number to set up service with them. Put in $box, they'll pump 500 free listings into your queue into your queue. Is that what you call it? Dashboard. It'll be in your dashboard.
There you go.
You can use those scans to get started and try it out. If you decide you don't like it, you can cancel it, and then really there's no cost to you because those were free scans. So you're welcome.
Yeah, I actually I messaged Alex a few days ago to see if I could get an affiliate link for that and start working with them a little bit more in some of the content I'm putting out there as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to go. I mean, if you're going to promote them, you should at least get, and someone's going to take your suggestion, let's put it that way, or your advice. That there's no reason that they shouldn't share some of that sales money with you as well. So that's how I always look at it when I do that stuff. It's not even about making money because really it's not that much in most cases.
Right.
It's more about cutting down my expense. So I look at it as more like I'm still paying Car Dealer Pro. They're still getting more out of me than I get out of affiliate money, but it at least drops my bill a little bit. That's what I'm trying to do, is get a cut rate program from them, and that's been pretty good. They've honored it. So I can attest that if Car Dealer Pro users use your code, you do get the credit for that, because I've seen that forever. I've had an affiliate code with them for quite a while.
I feel I've been a good ambassador for them. As you said, we're kind of growing at the same stage in our ventures. So it's been a good relationship I've had with them. To date, anytime I needed anything, I was able to reach out and talk to people direct. And it was good to see him at the National and stuff. Although we actually didn't get a chance to talk to Alex at the National this year.
No.
I think I did see him once, and he was deep in a conversation with someone, so I didn't interrupt. But then when I went back a couple times, I didn't see him again.
Yeah, it's the same for me. And and we went there together a few times, but I also stopped there without you and didn't see him either. I didn't really get to talk to him, but they were busy. There was almost always somebody there. At the times I was there, and they were. We did register to try to win the free scanner, and we did a couple other things when we were over there. But I was mainly there to talk to the guy who actually does the computer work, because that's where my issues
the
lie.
engineer.
And then that wasn't something Alex was going to be able to take on. So, but yeah, no, he's been great. Every time I've needed something, I've been able to talk to him. He does great little like webinar presentation type things for new features, and I think their pricing is fair for what you get when it works. My only complaint is when things aren't working and you're reporting that, they need to return those scans. It's almost like theft when you go to, I scanned a batch and I uploaded it and nothing scrapes. Oh, well, try again tomorrow. Well, yeah, but what about the 50 scans I just spent? So that's my other suggestion, is to do smaller batches with Car Dealer Pro, because if you scan in like 1,000 cards and things don't upload, you just screwed yourself out of 1,000 scans. If you do it with a batch of like 30, 40, 50 cards, it's not great, but it's not going to break the bank if you have 30 scans that don't work out.
And it when we first started with CDP, it was a pretty basic service. We didn't have a lot of those problems. I did use the autoloader 1000, and I would load that sucker up sometimes and send them all through there. But right now, with so much change and so much development going on, best to try a couple cards quick, make sure it's working properly at the time you have available to use it before you stack it up.
Sometimes that's how I test too. If I have a card and I'm like, I don't know if Card Dealer Pro will have this in their identification software, so I'll just scan one card of it.
Yeah.
If it's like some strange non-sport set or trading card game or something like that, I'll be like, all right, I'll put in, let's say I've got a stack of 50 cards. I'll put in 49 Pokemon cards and one of this weird set that I don't know if it's going to be in there, even though I have more copies of it. And boom, if it figures out what it is, great. I'm good to go to scan the other ones. If not, okay, well then I got to decide if I want to do them with my phone or whatever the case may be, and not waste my scans. So yeah, you have to kind of play with it a little bit. There's no getting out of scans free type of option with their software. Once you scan the thing in, it comes out and you're done.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go on to our chat again. Let's go sports cards. PNW is here. Hey guys, listen to last week's episode, and I'm considering getting into non-sports. I love selling online, especially cards, but feel like I'm getting burnt out on sports cards. Exactly.
Yeah, I love non-sport cards. When I first started kind of talking about it, everybody's like, well, why would you do, why are you selling Batman cards? I love the variety. There's lots of cool things you can do with non-sport cards that you can't really do with sports cards. They're cheaper for the most part because licensing is a little bit less. You get a lot more variety. Instead of, okay, this is the football players from this year, this is the football players from last year. You get different movies, different TV shows, all kinds of different creative inserts, and they're also not printed as heavily, so there's less supply. Sometimes like newer sets can be almost impossible to find even. Non-sports is getting bigger. There's more products being made every year. There's a pretty regular releases now of Marvel products, DC, Garbage Pail Kids. Garbage Pail Kids has a product like every other month now. It's crazy.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots of options to go to. It's going to be a little bit more affordable as far as picking up inventory in most cases. There is good vintage stuff. If you like the old 60s TV shows, 70s movies, TV shows, that kind of thing, there is, a vintage game you can play in non-sport cards. So good inserts, there's rare stuff, there's autograph cards, like things you think about that make sports cards cool. There's a lot of that in non-sport too. And I love doing both because, like you said, I get tired of, scanning Brock Purdy cards all day.
Yeah.
And I love to grab a stack of Ren and Stimpy and throw it through. And, I remember that episode, or that's a cool card, and again, it's good for your diversification, right? Not every buyer wants football cards. Some buyers want Ren and Stimpy cards. So why not sell the football cards to the football collectors and sell the Ren and Stimpy cards to the Ren and Stimpy collector? And increase your customer, the breadth of your customer base, right? You get more access. It's the same reason for selling on Whatnot and Collects and eBay. The buyers on Collects are not generally the same buyers on eBay. Sometimes they are, but there are two different they're two very different platforms. So you're trying to get customers in more than one space and for more than one type of product. So I highly suggest getting into non-sports. It's lots of fun. By the way, Discord's running along the bottom right now. Jump on that. It's a free invite. We have great discussion in there. It's what really prompted us to do this show tonight. So go on there, take a look. It's free. Join and enjoy. Be part of the conversations.
Let's grab a random non-sport out of the box and see what we got here.
Nice.
There we go.
Technically, that's a sports card, though.
Stuart the Steeler. Well, is it?
Yeah, because it's made by Donruss.
It
It's
is.
Don. It's a
It is Leaf. Yeah.
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 It's a
Yeah.
Donruss baseball card. It's like
Fair enough.
caricature baseball
Fair
or
enough.
whatever. But I
Fair
get what
enough.
you're saying.
You're right. I had it in the row from the National where I had all the non-sport stuff.
So here's a real non-sport card. This is Starship Troopers. It's a promo card. Some cool stuff there. Here's a
Here's a real non-sport card.
nice. I just
Elvira,
sold a bunch
Mistress
of
of the Dark.
pinup stuff today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Elvira stuff. Here's a Stargate promo card, pretty cool. With the Queen on there. Here
Now
is
this is actually an Oak Ridge Boys card, right?
yeah, of course it is. I was talking about vintage. Here's an awesome vintage. So most of the vintage non-sport sets did, 8 or 10 cards, whatever the pack makeup was, and one sticker card. So that's the case here. This is a Charlie's Angels sticker. So you would have got one of these, one sticker card per pack. So that's kind of your insert, your more rare cards. This is Kate Jackson, and this was made in 1977, so it's as old as me. That's when I was born. So it's great breadth of non-sport products now at this point in time. There's some true vintage there that wasn't there back in the 80s, right? I mean, some of those cards were only a few years old at that point, versus
Right.
you had baseball cards from the 1800s, but a lot more history now to non-sport, and it makes it a lot more viable to
Absolutely.
sell as a collectible.
All right. Well, Dan says no platform is perfect. Squishmallows. No platform is perfect, but the best part is that CDP manages all your inventory uploading and removing when purchased, which is the greatest part.
Yeah, that's correct. I certainly wasn't complaining. I was just trying to give the information for each platform. So those of you who had all the questions, but I think you're exactly right. I think Card Dealer Pro is the best player in this whole part of this, which I didn't think I would say. Although they can work on collects, that is also their platform. But to be fair, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the inventory management works pretty good. The downloading the inventory once it gets there. I mean, there's a lot of demand to get all that inventory in, but once it gets there, it works really well. Sending anything wherever you want it to go, and if you have more listings down the road, you can download those and do those separately. So yeah, it's got a lot of flexibility. When you upload, the other thing I like, when you upload a new batch, you don't just upload it to eBay and then download the inventory and then send it forward. You can literally do the batch, send it to eBay, send it to Whatnot, send it to Collects, and guess what? It still only costs you one scan per card, even though you're sending it to 3 platforms, and that's good value. It just took your, let's say it's 5 cents a scan. It just took your 5 cents a scan and split that 3 ways, and that's fairly good value.
Great point. Let's Go Sports Cards says, I've done a couple of live shows on Whatnot a few months ago. Spent a lot of time talking to myself. Yeah, those first shows can be tough.
Yeah, and I've actually had pretty good audience numbers in the few shows I have done. But it's kind of up to you. There's a lot of successful or correct ways to run a Whatnot show, and I think a lot of them don't. And I'm not saying yours didn't. Let's Go, but you really want to schedule the date ahead of time and create that thumbnail so people can save it and be ready to go to your show. You want to promote it. You want to try to, if you've got buyers on other platforms, you want to try to get them to go to it. You want to have a good title for your show. You want to have good quality cards. And hopefully you have some camera presence and stuff. So all your preliminary marketing work, when it gets everybody there, that you show up and do a good job with it, and they want to come back.
Yeah.
But it's so I still think the thing I don't like about live selling the most is it's not hands off. Like, you have to participate. One of the things I love about eBay is I just take a card and I throw it on there. I can do it any time of the day. I can list a card when I'm in my car. I can list a card when I'm sitting in bed. I can do all that. I can't really do a live show that way. Oh boy, a live show from my bed, that would be something. So I like that part of it. I like that anonymity. I just like listing the card there when somebody's ready to buy it, they buy it. But I like the pace, and I like uh, the community type atmosphere, with whatnot, with live selling and that kind of thing. And I think you kind of have to do both to be truly successful.
Yeah, I think that's the way the market is going. I made the comment before that I think the future is live selling. The younger generations are going to continue to expand into that, and some of us older generations are, going to head off into the sunset probably, that are kind of stuck on the buy it now. And if you don't adjust and embrace some of the live selling, at least, you're probably going to find yourself exiting the market sooner than you needed to.
And I think it depends. It depends somewhat on what you're selling, right? So if you're selling, the hot new quarterback downtown, you should probably be putting that on Whatnot.
Yeah.
That's that hype crowd. That's that modern, Caleb Williams rookie card type of thing. You're selling low end 1990s inserts. You're probably fine listing that fixed price on eBay. You're not going to move it for a whole lot more on Whatnot, or less in most cases.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of decide what you have, what you think you can move. If you've got a good theme for a show, if you don't sell cards, do you put them in a lot and still sell them that way? So at least you still are getting your quick sales, your nickel today versus dime tomorrow type theory.
Right.
That's a big part of it. But I think it's great. I like to, I pull up my phone and I got notifications. Oh, this person on Collects has followed you. Oh, this person on Whatnot has followed you. And I pull up my eBay, groups, and I have more followers in there. And it's like, it's just good to just keep building on that. Now, when I sell a card to a buyer on Whatnot, I include my business card that has both my eBay stores on it.
Yeah.
So it's also a way to get some advertising and some marketing out to other buyers. Maybe they aren't big eBay buyers, but they liked, how I presented my sale to them, and I completed the transaction well, all those good things. Responded to messages, whatever it is that's important to that buyer. And they might say, you know what, I'm going to go check his eBay store. Maybe there's some stuff in there I want to buy.
Right.
Now, to his surprise, it'll be all the same cards, of course, right now. But right now, there's more in eBay because I haven't gotten them all ported over yet. But so all the more reason to market your eBay stores right now to those buyers.
Yeah.
But I think that's good. Now I have to make another business card because now I need a card with my Collect store address on it and my Whatnot address. I'll worry about that a little bit later. Once I have all the listings done, then I'll reevaluate, what I want to do for marketing materials and things. That's an ongoing process, of course. But yeah, keep it going. If you've done a few shows, you got a few shows under your belt, try to add some consistency to it. I'm guilty of that myself, not being as consistent with it. I was just kind of feeling it out and deciding what I wanted to do, and I was pursuing eBay Live, and I'm going further and further away from that as that relationship just isn't there, and I'm going to go to where I can do the business. So, Whatnot has been I've been much more pleased with it than I thought I would be. A great platform.
Yeah.
I gotta skip out for like 2 minutes. I'm gonna let you take over, Charlie. I'll be right back.
All right. So Adam's going to take a little break. We'll keep going through the chat here. Lofi Joe says, can you talk about Whatnot seller disclosure requirements for card condition versus other platforms? So, of course, Adam steps away. He might have more insight into this one because he's had some shows. He's made some sales out there where I'm still catching up there on Whatnot and ramping up to doing a live show in the near future. But what I find interesting is it's a card condition is not required on your marketplace listings on Whatnot. Now, it does make a recommendation that your listing, I think they call it a weak listing, if it recommends you add some more things. And card condition is one of those things it recommends you add. However, I find that you can't even add condition on a non-sport card. So you will note, I'll share my Whatnot screen again. You will note that on these first couple of cards listed here, these are technically non-sport cards. Topps American Heritage, it's all historical figures, Harry Houdini, things like that. The field is blank here to update. So if I even go to the bulk editor and Whatnot, it doesn't even allow me to fill that in like it does down here on the sports cards. You see the Griffey, you see Don Mattingly here. Those, I have a filter here for condition. Now, I have not seen any kind of suggestions on Whatnot yet to say, here's how we view each condition. But quite honestly, at this point, I just follow eBay's conditions regardless of what platform it is. Adam, I see you're back. Do you have any input on Joe's question here? I'll pop it up here again. He's wondering about Whatnot seller disclosure requirements for card conditions.
Yeah, they don't make it very clear. Charlie's right. I think best practice is not even just following eBay's suggestion or requirements, if you will. I think just using your best judgment, right? You've looked at enough cards at this point where you can say, yeah, this is kind of minty, or man, there's some pretty soft corners here. This is a excellent condition because the rest of the card looks nice, no creases, Then you start getting to like color loss or paper loss, and okay, well, this is a very good condition card. It's not excellent. It's not definitely not mint, but it's not really poor. Like it's still a decently presentable card. And then your poor is kind of obvious, right? Scratches, creases, color loss, paper loss, just corner missing, things like that. Um, and as long as you're using an actual photo of the or you're using a photo of the actual card, your buyer's going to be able to see what they're going to be getting, and they can still make their own judgment on that, whether or not it's, well, I think this is very good and not poor. I think this is poor and not very good. You chose the wrong condition. It's still subjective to an eye, right? Like it's kind of like looking at art, right? Oh my gosh, look at that piece of art, and somebody else is like, my 3-year-old could have painted that. It doesn't mean the art is good. It doesn't mean the art is bad. It's just kind of how you perceive it. So I think your best bet is to just, kind of use your experience and list the cards as fairly as you can. Does it have condition suggestions in there?
They do. So here's the card section. So at the top, it's interesting. They lump together cards and Funko Pops. So they've got mint, near mint, good, damaged. And then if we go down to the card section, a few things to consider: structure, anything that affects the structural soundness, playability specific to TCGs, authentication. All right, so they look at edge wear, scratch, scuffing, surface wear, grime, indentation, all the normal things. And then here's the condition standards. Mint, no visible marks for shuffling, handling, clouding, printing defects, or damages. It looks like it was just pulled from a pack and went straight for a shield. Now, I think that's an outdated reference because I pull some crap out of fresh packs sometimes.
That's because you're opening Panini products.
Yeah. Near mint, up to 3 points of imperfections of the following types: slight edge wear, slight scuffing, slight indentation, minor scratches, and slight defects. In this condition, surface wear, grime, bend, fault, or any type of damage aren't allowed. So creases, you can't do that. Any major discolorations or smudges, they frown upon you doing better than good, I guess. Good, they say up to 12 points of imperfections. I don't know. What are you going to make a list? Okay, there's a little corner wear here. There's a dot there. There's a print line there, all of those things. I don't know if it would even be worth the time to get to listing something that you got to list that much stuff on.
But it's still going to be subjective. So what are they going to contact you
True.
and say, well, there's 13 points of,
Yeah.
problems with this card versus 12. You have to change your condition. Well, that's not, I don't know. I think you just have to do a fair presentation to your customers of what
Yeah.
that product is. And
I mean, you get a clear picture. If you're doing a live, get a good shot of it there. Show off any flaws you see. So what's interesting is the damaged category. So like eBay, we don't have damaged, right? We would just be like poor. But damaged cards have moderate, major, or severe faults. Any damage, severe bends, yada yada. So I think about really vintage cards. Like there's a lot of vintage cards that move with major creases in it, right? So I look at this and I feel like they would tell you to put that in damaged, but that's not how the card hobby works. Like that, it just doesn't match.
I had and I'm going to try to pull it up because I do want to share this. I had a pretty amazing vintage sale 2 days ago, maybe. And I think it was a 1953 card. But somebody had drawn glasses on the player and a beard on him and
Yeah, I
all
remember
this
seeing
stuff.
that.
And I sold it. Oh, did you see that sale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the sale, but you showed me the card.
Okay. I just how is maybe that's poor to someone because somebody wrote on the card and I would agree with that. That's how I would view it. But this person was like, look at that card. It's so awesome. Somebody put art on it. And they considered it, to some degree having increased value due to the drawing on it. So you have to
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's even like an autograph, right? So back in the day, if you had a Mickey Mantle card and you got it autographed, it devalued the card, right? Because it was an alteration to the card,
Yeah.
even though it was Mickey Mantle who signed it. Now people are, especially players that are deceased and that kind of thing, people are seeking that out. So the stuff changes for that demand, and I think if there's something obvious about the card, especially if it's not as easy to see in the photo, um, like let's say you got this sticker card here and there's a big crease along the top, right? And it's a little harder to see in the photo. I think your best bet would be to go with like very good condition, right? Because it's got a crease, but the rest of the card looks nice. And put something either in the description or even right in the title that says, crease along top.
Yeah, that's the best practice.
Because you're kind of stating what you feel the condition category it lands in due to that issue, but then you're also telling the customer what the issue is so they can kind of go look at it themselves. They can zoom in on the photo. They could ask you a question and say, well, how big is that crease? Can you see it really well? You know what I mean? And they can determine, is that too much damage for, what I'm trying to buy?
Yep. Let the buyer make their own decision on it.
I mean, how many times have you seen the story where somebody says, "Oh, this card is perfect. I'm going to send it in for grading." They get it back and it's a 6,
Right.
right? Then you crack it out of the case and you send it back in and it gets a 9.
Yeah.
So everything is still opinion, even if it is scrutinized and a professional's looking at it and this and that. It's just not. There isn't like there can't be a standard definition to the quality of a piece of art.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Dan's got a question for us. He says, haven't really looked into the other two platforms really well, but is there a vacation mode for platforms like eBay? I can verify I did see that on Whatnot. I have not looked for it on Collects. Have you?
What's a vacation?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
No, I haven't looked at that at all. I didn't really have any intention to use it. So we're talking about quirky little things with these platforms. Whatnot gives you like 5 days to ship. It's really weird.
True. Yeah.
And then Collects gives you what, 2 days, I think, 48 hours or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So you also have that. So if you're only going to be gone for a couple of days, you can sell something at Whatnot. It doesn't really matter, and collects for that matter. But so it's like eBay requires you to ship next day if you want top rated seller plus in the discount, and then collects makes you ship in 2 days, and then Whatnot makes you ship in 5 days. Like it's crazy how they can't get together. And
Collects does have a time away feature. It's in the seller tools.
yeah, I can't imagine that the platforms wouldn't. I mean, at some point you're going to have to not be able to respond in the same day.
Right. Well, the bad guys here. Hey, yo, Chico. Reza Ramon is here.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
Say hello to the bad guy.
I thought it was say hello to my little friend.
That's a different guy. That's Tony Montana.
Oh, that's right. You killed my
Snappy.
father. Prepare to die.
Yeah, that's a different movie too.
Oh,
that's a comedy movie. What the heck is that called? With Carrie Els, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Carrie Elwes, ELWES.
Yes. What is that movie? I watched it in the last year, actually.
Princess Bride.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Snappy says, enough of this CDP jibba jabba. That's my best Mr. T. It's enough of this jibba jabba. Great work on my so-called life, Charlie. Well, thank you. I appreciate everybody who's been checking it out, getting some positive feedback on it. A lot of you have messaged me on the side with some encouragement and some feedback on it. I really appreciate that. It's been doing well on YouTube. Got me a lot of new subs too in a quick order. Yeah. So far I'm enjoying doing it. I'm trying to find the right timing of it. The first one was kind of an intro, so I was able to keep it pretty short. And then the second one, I wanted to start sharing kind of the week that was and recap some significant events for the week. And that gets hard to do in 5 to 10 minutes, I guess I would say, depending on what happens for the week. So we went a little over 30 minutes. I don't really want to get any longer than that. I want it to be something that somebody can turn on their daily commute or in between a couple of meetings or, something like that while they're getting ready for the day, and listen to the episode and then move on to the next thing. So thanks for the feedback, Snappy. Appreciate it. Really look forward to expanding on that dialogue with folks and engaging in the comments on those, and providing some content that people enjoy and find useful.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. There aren't a ton of card podcasts, like short form podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to carve a niche, as long as you can have you have content regularly for it, right?
Yeah. And I was concerned, like, oh, everybody hears me for 2 hours, 2.5 hours on the live here on Wednesday nights. So they want to hear another 15 to 30 minutes of me every week. But so far, the answer has been, yeah, give us something new, and we're happy to listen to it. So,
yeah, I'm always surprised when I get like, hey, make another video. I'm like, really? You want to watch this? Like, why were you? I don't even want to make it. Why do you want to watch it?
Yeah.
But I think the artist is their greatest judge, right?
Yeah.
Or harshest critic, if you will.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you just kind of have to put stuff out there. I did a little bit of a pickups episode finally.
I saw that.
From some of the national stuff. I agree with you. I didn't want to go on forever, so I kind of cut it off, did a part one type of thing, and I'll do some more on another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's good. It's good to have some outlet and make some of that content, and we obviously have people that want to consume it, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's that Andy Pafko. I don't know if you can see that.
There it is.
So somebody drew some glasses on there and a nice beard. Can you see that?
Yep.
Got a little bit of a crease in it. It's it's by no means a perfect card, but it sold. I'm sure I didn't pay anything for it or hardly anything for it. I got $4.50 for that card, so
There you go.
you can sell anything.
Yep. Let's go sports cards, LGSC, if you will. You may have mentioned it before, but I didn't catch it. Are you listing non-sports on all three platforms, or just sports cards on Collects and whatnot?
Okay, so I get a little bit more complicated than I think most sellers do, but I have some non-sports in my main eBay store, which I'm just trying to sell that out of there. I'm not listing non-sport in that account anymore. I'm going to make that my sports card store. Then I started a second eBay store, which is non-sport only, which I have almost 12,000 listings in there now. And my main eBay store, which is going to be just sports cards, is the one that's connected to Car Dealer Pro. Currently, you can only have one eBay store connected to Car Dealer Pro. So I took all that inventory, and that's what I'm sending to Whatnot and Collects. So there's definitely non-sport cards in there because I just listed everything in the one store for a long time. So that inventory will be on all three platforms till that sells out. I have to decide how do I want to get the eBay inventory from my second store onto Whatnot and Collects. So I was thinking about this, Charlie. I said, oh, I'll open another Car Dealer Pro account and I'll just do it that way, right? What if I do all my inventory for my sports card store, get that all moved over? What if I disconnect that eBay store on my current Car Dealer Pro account
Mm-hmm.
and then connect my non-sport store instead, right?
Yeah. So
Which
that
still
would
have my
work.
Whatnot and Collects there connected.
Yeah.
And then I do the non-sport store and move all that stuff over.
That would work to transfer it all over, but to let the system manage the inventory, you'd have to constantly be switching back and forth and updating.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Or I'd have to have, like you said, have a totally separate
Account. Yeah.
account.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my strategy on this one, and I've done this with things in the past, and it's played to my benefit at times. My current strategy is I'm just focusing on the sports store, which has non-sport cards in it. I'm just focusing on that and getting that all moved over, and I'm hoping by the time I get all of that done, Car Dealer Pro figures out a way to add a second eBay account on there, and I can just do that. That's the true, I don't want to say plan because I can't plan for that, but that's the hopes.
Yeah.
That's the hopes. Now, I did talk to Car Dealer Pro and said that was something I wanted to see, and they did say that was something. Excuse me, something they were looking into being able to do. So I feel like it's important to them as well, and as long as it's important to them, that there's potential it will get done, and I'll be able to do that. So that's my current plan. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, I'll have to open a second Car Dealer Pro and not buy any scans. I'll just be doing a la carte, so I don't spend any money there. But I'd use that just to download my inventory and send it to Whatnot and Collects.
Yep. And I send non-sports to all three platforms. I find that Collects is a little more fussy with non-sport. It's not, I don't think it was really designed for non-sport. But it does take it. It's just they've got a little more parameters around them, I find. And Whatnot takes pretty much anything. So
they do, but Whatnot requires that second category that says that drop down non-sport.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are holding up my batches because Collects doesn't care if that drop down is in there, that field is filled. Whatnot requires it. So Whatnot is easier in most cases to list to. They really don't care that, except for that.
Yeah.
So again, the quirkiness of the three platforms, that's what you find. So.
Yep.
But I would like to have everything listed everywhere at all times. Like, why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
So if they come up and they're like, okay, well, this is the Cinderella app or, Disney cards, I'm gonna list my crap there. If I have a quick, easy way to do it and it doesn't cost me much or
Yeah.
anything at all.
Absolutely.
Poshmark's like, hey, we're doing a deal for card sellers and we're not going to charge you anything. Throw all your inventory here, and Card Dealer Pro gets access to, being able to list there. Yeah, I'm going to list there. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So the more connections that Card Dealer Pro comes up with, the more places my cards are going to be listed.
There you go. Let's go says, I think eBay waited a little too long to hop on the live selling trend, and I do not like the fact they're only letting select sellers do it. I've sold on the platform for years now and feel left out. Yeah, they've chosen a peculiar strategy with that. And they're really being super selective to the extent that, I think, well, you're echoing this comment here. Let's go when I say, I think they're alienating some long-term sellers that they've had by being so exclusive and not really expressing clear criteria for what they're looking for.
Let's just say there's a lot of flavors out there, and they chose salty.
By the way, the gelato shop's got a new flavor of the month. It's like bourbon vanilla blitz or something, and it sounds amazing. Yeah,
you had me at bourbon.
right.
So I got a Wednesday meal tonight. Have you tried that yet?
Meals of Misery or something like that.
Yeah, Meal of Misery.
Yeah,
it was kind of fun getting the mystery dips and trying those out. I did like the black cherry frosty or whatever it was. That was pretty good. I mean, their fries are their fries. That really wasn't any different. The nuggets were the same, but yeah, it was kind of a fun concept. I enjoyed it.
Meal of Misfortune. That's what it
Meal
is.
of Misfortune, correct. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, I remember. I think we were down in Chicago for the National, and I saw some of the billboards, and I didn't know about this promotion at first, and the billboards left me saying, what is that? And you guys had to clue me in on the whole Addams Family tie-in with the new Wednesday show. So,
well, we didn't go there. We went to Portillo's because Portillo's.
Because Portillo's, yes, cake shake.
Yep.
Let's see. Snappy says, don't want to forget thanking you, Adam, for the new pickups video. I've really missed your content. It's like sitting at a card show, going through a box, chatting with the person next to you. Thanks.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I really want to try to get some more content out. I've had a lot of you reach out and say, hey, I really miss your videos. And that matters a lot more than you think it does. Because sometimes, when you make this stuff, you think you're just doing it for yourself, or
yeah,
I don't know. Because it's hard. There's so much stuff to fit in, and it's getting harder and harder now that we have altered platforms to list on, and sales are increasing, and you got to process inventory, and then you got to make videos. I like doing one of the things I like about pickup videos is I essentially just film it and upload it.
yeah,
It's not like sales videos where I got to do edits and add in some transparency with proof of sales and things like that. I don't really have to prove my purchases on this stuff as I show it to you, because I don't have any proof anyway. I paid cash at a dealer, so
yeah,
you're gonna have to take my word for it. But I think it is a fun way to show, like, hey, these are some of the deals you can get in these boxes. Like the Blasted Billy that I got out of a quarter box. I didn't show this card at all, but the Zombie Trump card is a pretty good one. That I got out of a quarter box. Most of that pickup video was top loaded stuff that I got out of a $1 box, but they were knocked down to 75 cents. And then I got some money off of that. I probably paid like 60 cents a card or something like that in the end. That was good stuff, great inventory. I got a couple more boxes of stuff I can show. I showed the some of the PC stuff. So I showed my custom whatnot card. I showed my Messy 101 that I pulled, the um, Christmas story autograph, stuff like that. So if you
Mhm.
haven't seen that video, check it out. Hopefully you'll find some things that you're interested in. But watch it, give it a thumbs up, make a comment, because that's all the stuff that helps me motivate me to make more videos. It's more work than what you get paid for, right, Charlie?
That is absolutely true, especially in my case because I get paid 0.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. How many subs you got now? You said you got some this week.
Oh, let's see here. I know I got like over a dozen just this past week, but let's take a look here.
So you're at 13.
Yes. Yeah, I'm finally there.
Good thing you subscribe to your own channel.
I'm at 172 now. 172.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grind, I mean, it took me a while, and I was, consistently making videos every couple of days. And it's funny because I had somebody ask me that the other day, like, well, you were constantly making videos, like, why aren't you doing that now? And I'm like, why am I not doing that now? And I'm like, oh yeah, when I was making those videos, I was selling like 10 cards a day.
Yeah.
And that was it on one platform,
You had a lot more time.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't, my world is different now in a good way, income wise, but
Yeah.
not in such a great way as far as like extra time wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I was this summer's flying by already, but the last time I was up north at our property, I was like, this time last year I was doing campfire rips, open boxes of dynamite with, out by the fire in the back and stuff. And
Yeah.
I haven't done any of that this year.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how little we spent at wild card this year. They didn't have like the spin.
It
The
wasn't.
spinner was
Yeah.
kind of different. It was you had to spend $1,000 to get a spin on the wheel. The prizes were good. That's true, but
Yeah.
I wasn't going to spend $1,000 at wild card.
Right.
They didn't have quite as much product to choose from. They didn't have any celebrity stuff. It was all sports and
Yeah, that's interesting because they had the Pop Decades on all their marketing, but they actually didn't have that available there.
Yeah, they didn't have any packs or anything you could rip. So
Yeah.
same thing with the all game used NFL product that's going to be coming out. They had like packaging and stuff on display, but they didn't have anything you could get. So
right.
Yeah, kind of limited what you could buy. And they spent a lot of time on the jumbo or the oversized cards, and I just didn't want any of that. It looked super cool on display, as a PC piece, but yeah, I don't really want to. And then they encase them, so like trying to sell that and ship it, nah, I didn't really want to do that. So
yeah, I did end up getting 2 of them because I was just curious. I did get the Mahomes on the one, that was sweet. The other one's Chargers rookies and a true 1 of 1, so at least I got like a pretty decent selection out of it. But to your point, like when I go to Wildcard now, I love Wildcard. Don't get me wrong. I just love the modern designs. They break the mold and do things different, right? But I learned that my Wildcard buys are more of I have to be willing to PC some of those cards because I'm typically not going to make much or any margin on them, right?
Yeah, the market's fairly soft. Well, it's light unlicensed stuff and so forth, but
unless you get a 1 of 1 Messi in his Miami kit,
there's actually a pretty good market for that. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping it, so it's not relevant. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like anything. If you hit the real big stuff, obviously, if I had to hit a Messi auto, that would have been huge.
Yeah.
That would have been sweet if it was a 1 of 1 Messi auto.
Yeah.
That would have been, whoo, that would have really, really smoked it. But yeah, just fun products. They're also very, very affordable because of that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like those haunted hits I got too with Dracula and Frankenstein and stuff behind them. Like that's just fun stuff. Like
Yeah.
So what I do on that is I put I put an asking price out there, but I enjoy it being on the shelf while it's here, right? So if
Yeah.
it takes me a long time to get what I want on that, I don't mind, because everyone who comes over is checking them out, and I enjoy talking through them and stuff like that. So yeah, I just had to change my mindset on wildcard. Now, that being said, I also realized I need to back off how much I was spending on it at the first national I went to, and didn't spend quite as much this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Same. I bought the one box. That's the only thing I bought there.
Yeah. And you hit a good one.
And I did. That's kind of why I stopped. I'm like, I got 4 Lamine Mall rookies, 2 numbered out of 2, and a Messi 101. I'm like,
It wasn't going to get any better for you.
no. I'm like, I'm done. It's a nice product. I'm happy. I needed to get some Lamine stuff. And you know, when we didn't even really know what their featured product was, I'm like, it's got to be Lamine. I don't know what else it would be. So I'm glad they hit the nail on the head there, and you know, was able to pick up some stuff.
Yeah. Dan's messaging you again.
Dan. Go rip some wild card, Dan. Sick. That card is sick, bro.
Love it.
Me
Snappy says, "Oh, and sick visuals tonight, bro."
Oh, that card really presents. I heard a breaker that like that was his thing.
Yeah,
That really presents.
absolutely.
Yeah, so some of the card culture makes me want to, but it's their part of the hobby, and they're having fun, and they're enjoying themselves, and you know, that's fine. And especially if it brings in, like I said, different customers, some younger customers. Those are all good things for cards. So
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
but it's fun to make fun of it too.
Keith's got a two-parter here. I keep seeing a lot of low-end cards listed at 99 cents. Buy it now. Free shipping in different stores. I know in this business you want the multi-card order to make your margins, but that's not always the case. Just wondering your opinions on those types of listings. My question, how many are you actually losing money on?
I'm guessing you'd lose money on quite a few. I won't do that. I'm not listing at 99 cents free shipping.
Yeah.
I don't mind a loss leader here and there. So like when I say that, so let's say I have a card listed at $1.99 and I have a 50% coupon out there. So I end up selling it for $1. Maybe my cost was even 50 or 60 cents on it.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't have a problem with that because I'm making money on all the other cards. I'm
Mhm.
willing to give up the money on a card or two when I'm making the money on other cards in an order, but to just flat out lose on a 99-cent listing just seems kind of dumb.
Yeah.
What's funny about this is I accidentally listed a card at 99 cents like a month ago, maybe. I probably should have pointed this out earlier when it sold. But I, of course, meant to list it at $1.99, and I just hit 99 cents. It didn't take my one when I put the price, and it sold. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm losing 15 cents on this one or whatever, but it was an opportunity still to send out a business card and, you know, you hopefully get a new customer out of it. We'll see if we get some return business out of it, but I wouldn't want to do that all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly don't intentionally go that low. You may occasionally find I made a mistake on an auction listing where I forgot to flip the shipping profile and didn't flip it over to buyer pays, and someone might get one for 99 cents total from me. But I've actually recently, with the shipping increases, and I ended up paying a penny more per envelope recently in a purchase I made. I actually have been upping my minimum price a little bit. Not my minimum listing price, but my minimum accepting price. For the last year or so, I'd sell cards for as low as $1.50, but recently now I'm closer to like that $1.69 mark is where I want to set a floor at. So, but I think the guys that are doing that 99 cents are either major volume movers or they're just trying to clean out inventory that's been sitting a long time, and they're like, recoup as much as I can just to move on, right?
I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's newer sellers that are trying to get some business.
You think so?
I I think it's that, and I think I think you're right. I think it's some bigger sellers that are just hoping for more than one card sale.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I tend to feel like the people that are race to the bottom are the people who don't really have a good
Yeah.
business, and they're just trying, because your theory of, well, they're doing this just to get rid of some inventory, so you're going to sell it at a loss. Like, I don't get that. I'd rather have the card than pay
Well,
someone to take it from me.
I mean, think about Walmart's model.
Yeah, but Walmart is trash. Do you want to be Walmart? I don't.
fair, but they kind of are that race to the bottom. Now that afforded them a position to control the market with suppliers, right? Because they have so much buying.
And that's not the type of store where you go in and you just buy the pack of gum they're going to lose on. You're going to buy something else. That's not going to always happen in a card store.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that's a good
store.
strategy for a card store. I'm just saying that there have been successful models of, race to the bottom. Dollar General, all those dollar stores, right? So, but yeah.
I'm racing to the top, so I'm going the other way.
There you go. One last chat on the night, and I think we're going to wrap it up here. Tomorrow's game day, Adam. First game of the year. Good to see you guys are still alive. Lions Cards 9 is here. Stack sales are going to be the death of my bank account.
What's a stack sale?
Yeah.
You have to clarify that for us.
Stack sale. Oh, so like live stream sellers that will stack cards up and sell more than one at a time. That's what I'm guessing, because I make some of those purchases sometimes. Yeah.
Stack sales are going to be the death of my bank account. Okay, so I'm assuming what you're saying is once they do these stack sales, then I'm in and I buy, right? So you're spending more money on them. Yeah,
correct. So like, there's a particular seller that I watch occasionally that they will just keep throwing cards down until bids end. However many go in that lot.
That's wild.
And it's cards, but it's not wild card.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting good deals on them and stuff, sure. That's my one thing that I don't really like about live selling. I don't want to take. I do want to sell some stuff faster, yes, and I am willing to take a discount to sell stuff faster, yes. Hence why I do the coupons and different things. But I don't want to sell them for nothing. Like I don't get the point of that. But you're right, it's a volume game. If you can sell 700 cards and commit to getting them all shipped out tomorrow, yeah, if a few of those get some decent bids, you're going to do well.
Right.
So it's a different type of game that way. My intention is, once I get all the fixed inventory over to Whatnot and Collects, is to do more consistent live shows at that point, because now it starts making more sense, because now somebody can come in, win a card at an auction, and they can buy a couple other cards to combine that shipping from my store. So now if I'm taking that card I would normally get $4 for, and it goes for $1 in a live, I'm not as concerned, because there's going to be cross sales due to the other fixed inventory. Hopefully. I mean, I'm hoping that's what I see. I don't know until I get myself some results, and it might take a little while to build up to that. You can't expect great results on your first show, but I think that's how that's going to go. And especially as Whatnot continues to promote the fixed buying, I think that's what you're going to see a lot of sellers do, is really start to load their fixed inventory, and they can start to use their live shows to promote their more full-priced items in their store.
Right. All right. Well, we are all caught up and through the chat for the night. We talked a lot about Car Dealer Pro's new inventory management system and cross listing to collects, whatnot, in eBay. Hopefully, we answered some questions for you here tonight. Make sure follow along right there. We got our Discord going across. You can carry on the conversation there. We are providing updates every day on those listing tools and how they're working, and everybody shares some unique challenges they're getting, and we get a little groupthink trying to solve some of those. So it's a really helpful community there at the Discord. So make sure you check that out if you're not already there.
It was really fun to post that picture today of making the sales on all the platforms at the same time.
Yeah.
It was cool to see some responses to that. Okay, I'm in. Send me your whatnot link. Because now, do I want more competition there? No, but that's not the point of the Discord. The point of the Discord is to be a support group, right? If somebody wants to make that jump and start on whatnot, I wanted to share, some success in that is a possibility. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to do it, but I like that. I think that's fun. So that's the best place to see that kind of thing is the Discord. Charlie's channel is JC3 Cards and Collectibles. Subscribe to that as well as, start listening to those podcasts. I got to do that myself. I haven't listened to them either. I just relinked my phone to my car. Bluetooth. I finally took the time and did that. So okay, now I can play it out of Bluetooth, which makes a lot more sense. So I'm gonna probably start that tomorrow, maybe
on your drive.
Right. So let's support that and get those subscriptions and likes for Charlie. He's earned it. This channel here, the Dollar Box, please give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Share it with somebody else if you think they would like to watch it. If you're watching this recorded, try to join us live Wednesdays, 8 Central Standard Time. We're here every week, and then you can participate in the chat, which is really the goal of doing this whole thing. I'm going to try to put another video out by the end of this weekend. I've got some time this weekend to do that. Do the next pickups video. It's probably going to be a little bit longer one. It's bigger boxes, and try to keep some of that content going for you. Goat Show, September 28th, Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay. Tables are basically sold out. I know we have inquiries for a couple more. So Brianna was in here at the beginning of the show and said we had 2 left. Pretty sure those are basically spoken for.
Yep.
But don't give up. Put your name on the waiting list because we do have space to add tables, and we do that pretty much every show at this point now. And when we've got enough to make a new row, we'll contact you and say, hey, guess what? You're off the waiting list. We've got 2 tables for you. Send us your payment. We'll get you all set up in your space. If you're not getting tables, that's fine too. Just come in and attend the show. It is free admission. We've got free kids packs for the kids. We've got some new Halloween packs. Those will be fun. Some different sport packs, things like that. I've got some little Ushis, the little pencil toppers we're going to give away. We've got some stress ball type things, fidget toys, I guess they're called nowadays. We've got a few of those items, so your family's welcome. We got stuff for the kids to do, good food, ATM right on site, all those good things, live breaks. And of course, Charlie and I will be doing our show live from the stage at the show. So we get to see kind of the floor layout and be a part of the show with us.
Absolutely.
If you're from out of town, want to come attend the show, that'd be awesome. We'd love to have you. Message me. I'll be happy to help you find some accommodations and show you around a bit. You can hang out with me and JC3. And Stuart will probably take along too because he likes to eat. So we'll go out to eat and get Stuart some food.
You will.
But I think that's it for this week. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I don't, but Stu does. What do you got to say, Stu? Go Brewers.
Yeah, how did that doubleheader work out? I just thought I'd ask that real quick.
Went fine. We're still looking down at the Cubs.
Yeah, but it's like this now.
I believe you said it doesn't matter how much.
So next week, join us 8 Central Standard Time here live. And we'll be here to talk all things Cubs. That'll be the next show's theme. And
you know how to find Milwaukee on a map? You just find Chicago and look up.
oh my God, that's so lame. That sounds like something my dad would say. All right, enough of this. I'm going to bed. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. Charlie, anything else to add?
Remember, when you see the goat, we're talking some of the greatest of all time.
Remember, you can't sell what you don't list. And now you can list on Whatnot, Collex, and eBay. So get your stuff out there. Thank you very much. See you next week.